We saw the polls ahead of Sunday, 6-point lead, it was saying, for the incumbent. It turned out to be a 20-point win. Why?
If I knew it, I would win $1 million or a euro. It's very difficult to say, even though I have some explanation. Don't forget that the polls, they give a range, a confidence interval. And that confidence interval couldn't exceed the 40% mark. But what was really unpredictable, unforeseen, was the 20% for Syriza. That was really a puzzle.
Yeah, Syriza on 20%. And as we heard in that report, there's questions not just over the future of Alexis Tsipras as its leader, but the future of the entire party itself.
Don't forget, if you know the history of Syriza got a lot from PASOK. And a lot of people that they are there, they were previous MPs or ministers of PASOK, and a lot of the base of PASOK, they moved to Syriza. Now they have some second thoughts and they want to return. So actually they are not Syriza votes. Before 2012, Syriza hardly won't win 30% of the vote. But because he had a charismatic leader, and because of the economic crisis, and because of many other reasons, PASOK lost its percentage and Syriza got it. Some people now think that PASOK is about time to take this back.
PASOK, which was in double digits. So when you add the votes of Syriza and PASOK, do you say to yourself that it's such a landslide win? Could there be some kind of deal making between the two rounds?
No. I think if you really want to talk about ideology, which is it's very difficult, you have to end up all the parties that they are left to the center. And they might end up in 50, but it's impossible for them to collaborate. Even PASOK with Syriza, it's impossible to collaborate. There are many reasons for that we don't have time to explain. So what most probably would happen is maybe in the next election, PASOK will become the second, maybe. And I mean, it's very difficult to predict, but it might become the second party in the parliament.
Was this vote, as was said at the conclusion of that report, about avoiding a return to chaos?
It's a Greek word, chaos, anarchy. I mean, but I wouldn't describe it as a chaos. I mean, there was an overreaction in 2010, but a lot of people, as you mentioned, and you point out correctly, that it's the economy. The economy is not doing as bad as it used. I don't want to say it's better, but some people thought that it was well managed. And the future prospects of economic development look very bright. The debt ratio has decreased. Inflation is going down. A lot of money are expected from the European Union. So there is some sort of an optimism. In addition, we have an excellent, last year and this year, an excellent tourist season. So that's billions of euros they are coming, and they offer jobs to many, many people.
So there is this rebound. The growth is far in excess of what we have here in France, for instance.
Yes.
But at what cost? And I ask the question because since the financial crisis, according to official statistics, it's nearly 1 million Greeks who've had to emigrate for work.
You mentioned. There were about 500,000. We don't have the exact estimate. Some people say up to 1 million, but I'm not. I mean, it's very hard to believe such.
Are these people coming back?
Yeah, 500,000 people, they moved, but where did they go? Most of these people, it's a structural event. For example, medical doctors in Greece, they cannot find jobs, good paid jobs, because there is an oversupply. So they go to Germany, for example. Wouldn't you think that these people would come back? It's very difficult, but where are they going to find jobs? But if it's, let's say, a new sector, a technological sector, if there are investments in new industries, like, for example, renewable resources, then there are people that are coming back. It's true, they are coming back.
So when you think back to those days of turmoil of a decade ago, where the IMF and the Troika with lenders from coming in, imposing this harsh medicine on the Greeks, is it out of the woods, or is it still an impoverished country compared to what it was before?
No. I think there was an overreaction. Of course, Greece has a very high debt ratio, and that creates the whole problem. And it was not Greece's fault. It was a fault, but the crisis, the Great Recession itself, it started from the United States. And something else that I want to point out, because I wrote a paper about that, and this is important. No, don't forget the exchange rate value of the euro. At that time was 1.3. And that was a very hard, I shouldn't say medicine to take in Greece, because we are depending very much upon tourism, and it's very elastic, I should say, in the value of the exchange rate. Now it's very close; it's to the parity of the U.S. dollar. So we have a lot of Americans coming here. So it's 30% depreciated. And that played a role during the crisis, and many people do not mention that. I don't want to say that the Greeks were not responsible for what they received. They were responsible, but we have to see the whole environment, the whole conditions.
Throughout Europe, it's not just Greece, falling birth rates, difficulty in grappling with immigration, the idea that the days of big growth are never to return. So is there a sense of decline where you are, or is it different from, say, like countries like Italy?
No, I think there is an optimism here. There is an optimism, and this is the reason why Mitsotakis, even though he cannot, frankly speaking, I don't think he should be credited for that. Just the international environment, the pandemic. He was very lucky, in quotation marks, that he had the pandemic, so he can justify many measures. Second, he was very lucky that he had the Ukrainian-Russian war, and they played the card very well. And now he's very lucky because he had a lot of tourism flows that come to Greece, and that's very good for the economy. I don't know how you can credit that to Mitsotakis and not to the international better environment. In any case, let's say that he was a lucky prime minister.
A lucky prime minister. We'll see if he's lucky a month from now when he stages that second vote. Gregory Papanikos, many thanks for joining us from Athens.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you very much.